Pressure is mounting on political candidates. 24 days and counting until the November 2nd midterm elections, and they could usher in big political changes and have a huge impact on President Obama's agenda. We've got some interesting new numbers in our latest CNN opinion research poll to tell you about, and here they are. On the so-called generic ballot for Congress, 52% of likely voters say they will vote Republican, and 45% say they'll vote Democrat. Another potential trouble spot for the Democrats. Republicans have a huge lead among independent voters. 62% of independents tell us they'll support the GOP, and only 31% side with the Democrats. So what's going on out there? Let's go out there and find out. Are voters ready to give control of Congress to Republicans, or will the Democrats be able to hold on? So let's go inside these numbers for you. Ford O'Connell is standing by. He's a Republican strategist and chairman of the CivicForumPAC at Project Virginia. And Celinda Lake is a Democratic pollster and president of Lake Research Partners. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so Celinda, I'll start with you. What about that generic congressional ballot that shows that 52% of likely voters say they will vote Republican? Are you worried?
Of course I'm worried, but I'd say the biggest thing that we have to focus on in these last 3 weeks is getting Democrats out to vote. Part of that gap is because Democrats are less enthusiastic about this election than Republicans are, and I think as these elections near, Democrats will understand what's at stake, and Democrats will understand what the alternative is, and that will energize them, and I think those numbers will close.
So Ford, listen, Republicans look pretty confident, and sometimes confidence can cause you to stumble. I'm wondering if there's anything that can cause them to stumble in the next 24 hours, especially when, you know, the old rules of war, rules of sports, and even politics. Don't underestimate your opponent, even when you think you're ahead.
Absolutely. You know, if this were a baseball game, it's the 8th inning, the Republicans are up by a couple of runs. The biggest problem in my mind for the Republicans is their get out the vote program. I'm not sure that they've actually put enough resources into it, and that concerns me a lot. Yes, Ms. Lake is right. They are very fired up. I was down at the Virginia Tea Party convention today, and I have to say they're fired up. And if I were someone like Congressman Perriello, I would be worried. But at the same time, I'm a little concerned about the get out the vote effort across the country. You're concerned about get out the vote?
Well, it's just because Republicans may be seeing on the news and reading the polls saying, you know, oh, we're ahead, and people may feel that they may not need to go to the polls. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, but I also think that for example, in the Senate, the Republicans need to net 10. I believe that if Racy in West Virginia, Rossi in Washington, and Angle in Nevada win, it's very likely the Republicans will take the Senate. My biggest concern is the Democrats have some serious GOTV advantages out there that I'm not sure the Republicans can overcome at the last minute.
Okay, all right, point taken there, Ford. Hey, Celinda, I want you to listen to this. I'm going to show you this poll, and then we're going to talk about it. Our poll found that Democrats have big problems among white voters who call themselves blue collar. Look at this poll. 71% of white blue collar voters say they will vote Republican. How do Republicans lose a blue collar vote? That's a block that's usually on the Democrat side.
That's right, and that is a real warning to us. And I'll tell you, the warning is particularly blue-collar women. We have seen blue-collar women shift away from the Democrats, and as Eleanor Roosevelt once said, it's up to the women. Blue-collar, independent women are going to determine who wins this election.
Why are blue-collar women shifting away from Democrats?
They're disappointed in the economic policies of the Democrats. They think that neither party is particularly in touch with their families. They tend to think that, you know, the kind of conversation that we're having is macroeconomics rather than kitchen table economics. But they haven't made up their minds yet. They're still undecided. They're still tentative in their vote. They're still focused, as Vice President Joe Biden says, on don't focus on God the Almighty, focus on the alternative. For us, what's really important is to lay out what the alternative is here, and also what our vision is to help families, to help small businesses, and we've got to get that message out in the next 3 weeks.
All right, Celinda, you said lay out the vision, and Ford, you said don't be overconfident and get people out to the polls, and that will help the Republicans.
Well, I'd also like to...
You said that will help the Democrats. Go ahead, I'll give you a quick last word here.
Americans, it's clear what Americans want. They want fiscal conservatives who speak for Main Street. The party that does that is the party that's going to win in November.
Okay. Thank you both. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You know, anyone who is looking for work will tell you it is pretty tough out there. We don't have to tell you that. You know, and a lot of you have been looking for work really for years now.